Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Hopefully, everybody's having a good day. Hopefully, you're all having a good week. It's almost the end of the week. Friday's almost here. The weekend is almost here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe, share this channel out with everyone you know. I would greatly appreciate it. Hit those heart emojis down there at the bottom. It does really help out with the live stream. Let's continue growing this channel. I got Ken with me here this morning. Ken, how we doing, man?
Another ducky day in paradise, brother. How about yourself?
I can't complain. I'm doing pretty well, but we're going to talk about a lot. We will do an open panel. You know how the open panel works. I invite you all up one at a time. You get to vent your frustrations, and let's just keep it to the topics that we talk about. Let's try to do that so we can stay on track, please. And yeah, we'll say what's up to the chat, but we got a few things to talk about. We'll talk about last night's game. We'll recap last night's game, and then we'll kind of make some predictions on the postseason roster. The Yankees still, they only one game to clinch. They just need to win one game. Is tonight the night? We'll see. But there's only 4 games left in the season. But with that being said, let's say what's up to the chat real quick. Who do we have this morning? We have Dev Finch in the building. What's up, Dev? Stephen B, what's going on? Egyptian Magician, what's going on? Jonathan, what's up? Pasty, what's going on? Nosebleed section, what is up? Who else we got in the chat? We have the Back It Up Binge. I know you're in a good mood, bro. I know you're in a good mood. Your boys just won 2 out of 3. They clinched the playoff berth. Tell me how you're feeling, man. Good morning to you. But shout out to everybody in the chat again. Make sure you all hit that like, hit that subscribe, share this channel out. If you're watching this on X, come over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Let's get this channel growing. But let's talk about last night's game there, Ken. I mean, let me get your thoughts.
Give me 1 second because there is somebody at my door.
Oh, boy. All right. So Ken will be right back. He's just got to go answer the door. But last night's game, folks, it was a pretty disappointing one, right? It was not the game that we were hoping for. It was not the game that we expected. At least I didn't expect it. I don't know about you all, but I certainly did not expect a game like this. Unfortunately, Nestor Cortez was supposed to start last night. He did not start last night due to there was a flexor strain on his left elbow. He's on the 15-day IL. So if everything goes according to plan, he could be back around the playoffs. So probably the ALCS, if I had to guess. So he's going to have to rest his arm, and he'll get a PRP injection. He'll get going. But this injury to Nestor Cortez came at the wrong time. Just when things were going well for the Yankees. They were winning games, they were winning series, they were hitting well, they were pitching well, everything was clicking. They got their reinforcements back. September was looking really bright for the New York Yankees, right? The early part of September, not great. But then they started to turn it around. They had won, prior to the Orioles series, they won 5 straight series. They had 5 straight series wins. They were playing good baseball. They were winning in extra inning games, which is a little unusual for the Yankees, because when it comes to the New York Yankees in extra inning games, they tend to not do well. Things started to look good, and heading into this Baltimore Orioles series, they had a 6-game lead. They just lost the series to the Orioles. They lost back-to-back games to the Orioles. That was their first back-to-back loss since September 3rd and 4th, and those losses came against the series against the Texas Rangers. Outside of that, they've been playing some really good baseball, but they played the Baltimore Orioles, and the Baltimore Orioles have just been dominant in this series. All right, and I see a few other folks can't come into the chat. John, the Beagle Dad, what's up? How's it going? Hopefully you're all right. Let me know if you're safe out there in your area. Jared, what's up? What's going on? Jake Boss, what's up? And let's see, back it up in just saying Yanks nicked without Cortez starting. Cortez good against the O's. Orioles 4-1 at Yankee Stadium this season. Yeah, yeah, man. The strange season does continue indeed, man. It does indeed. What's up, Sean? How's it going? But this has been a weird season. This has been a weird season. So all safe. Storm will pass west of us. Okay, hurricane preparations. Yeah, guys, be safe, please. Those hurricanes, tornadoes. Those types of natural disasters never a fun thing. So be safe. Take care of yourselves. Do what you got to do. Okay. But back to what I was saying. It has been a strange season indeed. I don't know what it is about this season and the Yankees and playing at home. The Yankees' home record is not as great as their record away from the stadium, as we all know. And this season against the Orioles, they have a 4-8 record against the Orioles this season. The Yankees just don't have a lot of success against the Baltimore Orioles. The last time they saw the Baltimore Orioles, it was at Camden Yards. They won 2 out of 3 in that series in Baltimore. They could have swept them in that series, but they didn't. Unfortunately. So I thought, going into this series against Baltimore, I thought, this team could win 2 out of 3. They're on a hot streak right now, right? So they were trending in the right direction. But they just lost the series again. They lost 2 out of 3. They're 4-8 against the Baltimore Orioles. The Yankees against the AL East this season, they're 25-26. So that is their record against the AL East this season. So when it comes to the Yankees and the AL East, it's not. It's definitely not a great record. They have struggled against teams in the AL East, but it's a tough division, as we all know. What's up, Nathan? I see you. What's going on, Nathan? Hopefully you're doing well. Ken, welcome back, man. How's it going?
Well, as usual, with the son living next door, I get a mafia drop off on my grandson.
Oh boy.
So didn't my wife tell you? I said, no. Didn't mom tell you? No. I said, I'm doing a broadcast. Okay. What's that mean? I says, that means that he is going to be sitting here watching some pups for about a half an hour by himself. And you know what he does? He's 3 years old. He jumps up and down. And he says, me talk on Papa's tablet too. I said, not today.
Oh man. Ken just can't catch a break. But yeah, when you I don't know how much of the conversation you caught, but I was talking about the Yankees, this is their first back-to-back loss since September 3rd and 4th, and that was against the Texas Rangers. They haven't had a back-to-back loss since then. They've been winning series. They've been playing good baseball. They were trending in the right direction. They had, prior to the Orioles series, they had won 5 straight series in a row. And, they have struggled mightily against the Orioles. They're 4-8 with the Orioles this season. They're 25-26. They have a 25-26 record against the AL East this season. And the Yankees at home right now, their record is 42-35. And away, their away record finished this season at 50-31. And I don't know what it is about Yankee Stadium this year, but they just are not performing well at a high level at home. I don't know what it is, but away from the stadium, it's like they're lights out. But let me get some of your thoughts there, Ken, about some of the stuff we talked about. We could recap the game, and then we could just get into some of the other bread and butter.
Well, I will tell you, the Yankees this season seem to go with pitching. If the Yankees have good, strong opening pitching, the team tends to win. When we score runs first and early, we tend to win.
Mm-hmm.
Against Baltimore, we haven't had great pitching. We haven't been scoring. The bats are once again dead. We scored, 7 runs last night, and 5 of them are Judge and Soto.
Yep.
Those two cannot carry the team. We've said this all season long. There are other bats that actually have to show up. I think we were talking 4, 5, 6 hitters are in the dirt. They are doing horrible.
Yes. And I'm glad you brought up the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. So the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, you all know who I'm talking about. Austin Wells, Giancarlo Stanton, Jazz Chisholm Jr. Now, I'm not trying to bash these guys. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go on a negative rant here and say that these guys suck and, DFA and this and that, right? Like, I'm not going to say all that. I'm not going to blame Boone. I'm not going to blame Cashman. These guys have a job to do. They're professional ball players, right? So I just want to read this off because as much praise as these guys get, they deserve a little bit of criticism, right? So talk about Austin Wells. Now, listen, I still think Austin Wells is a good player. What's going on, Felix? Good morning to you. I still think Austin Wells is a good player. All right. But his at-bats have not been great as of late. And I'm sorry. And this is going to bother some of you folks. And I understand. But Austin Wells in the last 15 games, you know what his batting average is? If you had to guess, Ken?
Probably 120 or one in the ballpark, 120.
Okay. So his batting average in the last couple of weeks, 132. All right. His OBP is 190, slugging is 245. And in that span in the last 15 games, he struck out 14 times. He's only walked 4. And that was in 53 at bats. So his production has fallen quite a bit. He was killing it at one point. He was that guy at the cleanup spot. I know we kind of talked a little bit yesterday, Ken, about they may need to put somebody else at the number 4 spot, but I don't know who you put. We'll discuss that momentarily, but I don't know who you put in that number 4 spot. I don't know if there's a name. Some folks are saying Giancarlo Stanton, which Giancarlo Stanton, I got his numbers up in the last 15 games as far as his batting average goes. What do you think that number is? If you had to take a wild guess,
150 maybe.
150. What's up, Bronx Bombers? Good morning to you. 150. So his last 15 games, 170. I mean, not a lot better, right? So you could talk about Giancarlo Stanton being put in that number 4 spot, which but it's just, I don't think he fits the 4 spot.
Not a significant difference between Wells and Stanton.
Right. Yeah.
It's not giving Judge the protection that he needs. You're starting to see these pitchers give Judge the intentional walks.
Yeah. I mean, they're seeing that these guys are struggling. So they're like, okay, well, we're not going to pitch to Judge. We're going to unintentionally walk him, like you said, or intentionally walk him, take your pick. But they want to get to the 4, 5, and 6 guys, which brings me next. It's going to be Jazz Chisholm Jr. Last 15 games. If you had to guess his batting average in the last 15 games, what do you think?
Probably 140.
140? You're close. It was 148. So, yeah, I it's not, those numbers are not great. And, yeah, I agree, Pasty. I mean, Wells is still a rookie. This is what happens to rookies when they struggle. They get very hitterish. I get that. I do understand. And, again, I'm not trying to criticize. What I'm trying to point out, though, is that there's bats in this lineup that are struggling because a lot of folks have been talking awfully a lot about Alex Verdugo. And I know Alex Verdugo has not been great at the plate. I'm not denying that. But there's other guys in this lineup that are not producing either. And that 4, 5, and 6, they're not producing. The 1, 2, 3 are, especially Gleyber Torres. He's been on a tear over the last month. But your 4, 5, and 6 guys are not doing well. The 7, 8, 9, it's I don't know. It depends. Sometimes it's a good day, sometimes not so much, but um it just cannot be Juan Soto and Aaron Judge carrying this team. Other guys they need to turn it around. If it was truly, like, to me, if it was truly a managerial thing or a coaching thing, I would say that Judge and Soto wouldn't be hitting either. So then the entire lineup wouldn't be hitting. But it's a good share of guys that are just not playing well at the plate. What are your thoughts, Ken? Let me get some of your opinions.
The boys aren't hitting well at the plate, and they're not doing particularly well out in the field either.
Yeah.
Errors. You're giving a team like the Orioles, who have fantastic bats, extra outs. You can't do that. I mean, essentially, yesterday's game, Dominguez's first error resulted in 2/3 runs. That put us in a hole right off the bat, and it seemed like we never got back on track afterwards.
Yeah, and those, that the defense, right? That's concerning, because Dominguez, they put a stat out there saying that he has a -2 defensive runs saved in 11 games this season, and that's concerning to me, right? What's up, Demon D? How's it going? And Dominguez, look, I think he'll be a contributor to this team. I think he'll be a good player, but the defense needs to improve, like, more than just improve. I mean, it's beyond improve. Desiree, good morning. Dominguez's defense is a bit of a concern. I know people want to say, well, he's a rookie, or, I mean, at this point, I would say he's a prospect. I wouldn't even call him a rookie yet. I'll call him a rookie next season. But
right.
I think, but with not making those plays, not catching those balls, I mean, to me, that's a major concern. That's a major concern. And you can't, if this guy is going to be on the playoff roster, you can't be making plays like that. You can't afford to make plays like that, especially in the postseason, because when it comes to the postseason, there's really not a lot of room for mistakes. You got the mistakes have to be extremely minimal. They have to be minimal. Mistakes are going to be made, but they have to be minimal. They can't be major mistakes, because Stroman was already having a bad outing as it was, and Dominguez not catching that ball yesterday in the first inning, that just added to the pain. So it's a concern. So this is where the question is now. A lot of people are not high on Alex Verdugo, but Verdugo's defense, and I've been saying it, his defense has been great for the Yankees. I know a lot of people may not agree with that, but then it begs the question: do we want Verdugo's defense, or do we want Dominguez's bat? I mean, what's everybody's preference? What do we want? What do the fans want?
Well, I think what the fans want is irrelevant. I think what the management is actually going to do is they're going to play the stronger defensive hand. I can't see them benching Verdugo when they can't trust Dominguez to catch simple fly balls. He's had a truckload of errors last night. He had the one error in the first inning, but looking at subsequent plays, it looked like he was struggling with at least 3 other fly balls that were challenging for him. I know that left field is not his natural position, but he's made errors at center field also this season with us. He's been up, 11 games, and some of them may not be called errors because he didn't get a glove on them, because he had bad reads, but they're still plays that should be made. I mean, I think that Dominguez personally is jeopardizing his spot on the postseason roster.
Okay, so you don't think he will make the postseason roster then?
Well, if you can't trust him in the field, are you going to bench Stanton for his bat? He's not hitting significantly more better. He's
Yeah.
not hitting significantly better than Stanton. And the team relies on analytics. If you look at the analytics for Giancarlo Stanton in the postseason, he's our best hitter on the team.
He is our best hitter indeed. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. But with Giancarlo Stanton, now I don't see. I'm going to say this right now. I don't see a guy who's still owed $98 million being left off the roster. That's not going to happen. He's going to be on the postseason roster one way or another. And I know um some players shine in the playoffs in the postseason. And maybe that'll be Giancarlo Stanton when the postseason comes around. I think his bat could, it should come alive. I mean, historically, he's been great in the postseason. His numbers have been fantastic in the postseason. But I don't see there's no way they're going to leave him off of the roster. I think Dominguez is going to be on the roster. He might. I don't know if there's a way where him and Giancarlo Stanton share the DH spot. I could potentially see that. There's just no way that right now, like I'm a visual. I see it. There's no way I would put Dominguez in the outfield in the postseason. Not like this, unless he shows improvement in these next 4 games. So
Well, how are you going to show that significant improvement in 4 games?
Well, that's just it. Right now, I wouldn't trust it. This is hopefully the team can improve. Or at least Dominguez can improve. Going into next season. I mean, he better be taking a lot of reps in the outfield and improving his defense. Even though he played the outfield in the minors, I mean, people can say, well, at major league level, but again, it's I don't think anything changes, right, as far as making a routine play in the outfield for a fly out or a pop out.
No, I mean it's a different perspective from the aspect angle of the ball leaving the bat. So I can see that he's having some difficulties there, but when he's played center field, he's still had the same errors, overrunning balls or not getting to the pivot spot in time. So I'm not sure what's going on. Does he need glasses? Is he has he got some type of vision problem where he's not reading the balls well? It's hard to say, but I mean, you even look at a baser model, Trent Grisham versus Jason Dominguez.
Grisham is definitely a better outfielder than he is. That's for sure.
Exactly. I mean, you're looking through the season. One of the strengths that the Yankees have had is their outfield defense. Well,
yeah.
If Dominguez is sitting out there playing like he is, the outfield all of a sudden becomes a liability as opposed to an asset.
Yeah, and you can't have that in the outfield. I mean, the outfield's been solid this season defensively, especially. Even though so you can speculate a little bit about Juan Soto, but we already knew when the Yankees got Juan Soto, he wasn't he wasn't like an elite outfielder or anything like that. The Yankees strictly got him. I don't want to say strictly got him, but they got him for his bat. But speaking of Soto and Judge, so they did homer in the same game for the 13th time this season, and that they're tied for the second most as a duo as New York Yankees. Maris and Mansell did it, and they had 14 games, so it was a while back. So they're kind of like the Maris and Mansell of this team right now.
I will tell you, they're a fantastic hitting duo.
Yeah, they are.
It would be a shame for them to break the duo up. But honestly, in the free agency, it lies in Soto's court. He's the one that's going to end up making the decision whether he likes the support and the protection he's had in New York, as a Yankee or whether he's more about the money. The only person that can answer that is Soto.
Yeah, and ultimately it's going to be his decision, and it's inevitable that he is going to test the market. I know a lot. Some fans were saying, they need to, the Yankees need to lock him up early, and before the season ends. But I'm like, that's not going to happen. Like that there's gonna the deal's going to happen in the off season. He's going to test the free agent market, and I mean, I'm sure Scott Boras is in his ear, like, hey, I would suggest you test the market because you are going to get paid. You're gonna get a lot of money, so you don't have anything to worry about. But right now, look, the Yankees going into tonight's game. It's to me, it's a must win. The reason why I say it's a must win is because they don't want to get swept. They don't want to get swept. It's going to be a pitcher's duel tonight. You're going to see, Corbin Burns versus Garrett Cole. So that's going to be a fun matchup. So I know Garrett Cole is going to come in with a with a fire lit under him because watching last night's game, you could see it in his eyes. He was, he looked pissed off. He did not look happy, and he in his mind, I'm sure he was thinking like, we need a we need to I need to go out and make something happen. That this team needs to this team needs to the bats need to pick it up tomorrow. But I can tell he was pissed off. But they just need the one game to clinch the postseason. But it's been a little it's been difficult, as we could see. What's up, Mr. Barrows? How's it going? It's been a little difficult for him. But hopefully they can clinch tonight, and also they need to start building that lead for having the best record in the American League, because they are leading the Guardians by a half a game. So they need to build on that. But then I guess the other question is, do they really want home field advantage? I mean, considering the fact that this season playing at home, it's been a struggle for them.
I don't think it's a question of home field advantage. I think it's a question of the bye, because anything can happen in a 3-game series.
This is true. Yeah, it can. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But yeah, I think the Yankees are, they're looking to finish as the best team in the American League. I'm sure they would want to want home field advantage, right? Again, I know they haven't been the greatest at home, and they've been much better away. So
just remember, come October the 1st, the record is 0-0. It resets. Nobody has a batting average, and it's a whole new ball game. The first one to 11 wins the prize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, definitely. But if you had to, talking about the roster, the postseason roster, just an early look, right? I mean, you're saying you don't see Dominguez on this roster.
No, I don't.
Okay. What does everybody else in the chat think? Let me know what you all are thinking. Do you see Dominguez making the postseason roster, or do you not? The only reason why I'm saying he makes it is because they called him up. So they called him up, and I see them adding him to the roster, and they may not do it now, but that could always change if they make it to the ALCS. So I mean, they can always shuffle the roster around then. But we'll see what happens. And how many bench pieces can we have? We can have what, 3?
Well, we're at 28 man right now. Yeah. We have Oswaldo, John Birdie, Trent Grisham.
Yep.
Do we have a 4th?
Trevino.
That's right, Trevino.
Yeah, Trevino.
So we have 4 bench pieces. We can have 4 come the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we're at 28 man on the roster, and as soon as the season ends, we've got to shrink it to 26.
That's what I thought.
So we've got to cut 2 bodies right off the bat. The Nestor Cortez injury makes things interesting, because everyone figured that Nasty was going to go out into the pen as one of our left-handed specialists and take Tim Mays' spot. Well, with him going on the IL for 15 days, obviously that's not going to happen. So does that leave Mesa up on the roster, or do we go with one left-handed specialist?
I mean, I think ideally the Yankees would want to have two left-handers in the bullpen. I mean, I don't think you want to have just Tim Hill as the only lefty. I mean, you want to have do want to have another lefty in that bullpen. I mean, I would imagine Mesa is probably going to be that other lefty. So
that presents a problem even in the pen.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, what's up, Scotto? Losing Nestor's it's kind of a big thing. It's kind of a big thing. Granted, he wasn't going to be one of the starters in the division series. Maybe in the championship series if the Yankees made it that far. It could be a possibility.
But he did show that he could come out of the pen and be effective. He did it on a Clark Schmidt start where we didn't burn our entire bullpen when Clark came up short, and he was good.
Yeah, he was. He was solid coming out of that bullpen. And you know, after when he was interviewed and he admitted out loud, he was just like, "Yeah, I wasn't happy about the bullpen decision. I've been a workhorse and I've been a big contributor. I've been healthy." And I mean, he had his right to say what he wanted to say. And you know, since then, like he started a couple of games and he was on fire. You know, the guy he pitched some gems. Unfortunately, this injury came for his on his elbow, and you know, kind of came at the wrong. Not kind of, but it came at the wrong time. It wasn't exactly a good time for him to get hurt. You know, not now, especially when this team was, you know, playing well. They were, you know, healthy. They got their reinforcements back. Things started to look good. You know, adjustments to the bullpen. You know, the bats were coming around. The starting pitching was fine, but now it's just, you know, now it's like they kind of resorted back to some of their old ways. You know, where like, you know, kind of like where there was like about a month ago when they just, you know, the bats just kind of, you know, fell silent. So it's almost like they're back to where they were a month ago. But what are your thoughts there, Ken?
Well, the Yankees have been a team that falls back into patterns, and we're currently in a bad one.
Mm-hmm.
Not irrecoverable. Just have to do some workarounds. Maybe time to sit perhaps Jazz.
Yeah.
He's not been playing well, or he's not been hitting well. Some of his defensive play has been questionable at third base. So possibly give either John Birdie or my preference would be Oswaldo Cabrera a shot.
Yeah, Cabrera is the guy. He definitely needs to get more playing time, man. He needs to make it happen.
I will tell you what, just going out there, I personally would give Cabrera a shot at being the 4-hole hitter. Oswaldo this year, he comes up, you can't wipe a smile off the kid's face. He's just so happy to be a Yankee.
Yeah.
When he's in the box, he's a beast. He is never outmatched. He may not get you the runs, but he's going to hit the damn ball hard. He makes solid contact. You don't see him striking out a lot. And that might be the protection and the spark that you need behind Aaron Judge.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. So real quick, folks, just a quick pause. We're just a little over a half hour into the live stream. I do appreciate every single one of you in the chat. I'm seeing everybody's comments. I do appreciate the interaction. I know some fans are not hopeful. Some fans are on the negative side. I get it. I understand. But I still appreciate you all tuning in. Make sure you all hit that like, hit that subscribe, share this channel out. I will put the link to the open panel here in the next 5 minutes. You know how this works. I invite you all up one at a time. Let's try to stick to the topics that were discussed. And of course, I'm going to invite you all up one at a time and understand that, if there's other people waiting, you'll probably you'll have to keep it. I don't want to say nice and short, but just keep the conversations at a pace. It doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be short, but not super long either. So, in case I have other folks waiting, what's up, referee? How's it going? But yeah, but right now though, I do want Oswaldo Cabrera playing. He needs to be getting a shot. I think they need to start playing John Birdie in there too. Let him start getting some reps. I mean, I don't see why not. He's still effective. He's a very effective player. And prior to his injury, I liked what he brought to the table.
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts on John Birdie?
John Birdie, when he was brought up, I thought was brought into the organization from the Marlins. I thought was a fantastic move.
Mm-hmm.
I personally thought that he could have been our leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
He has historically been a great contact hitter. He has mid 250 to 260 batting average. And when he was with the Marlins 2 years ago, he led the National League, in stolen bases with 44. And that was before they made the bases bigger and limited the amount of times a pitcher could throw over. So the man definitely has speed. And we even saw him lay bunts down before he got injured, and he was very competent with regard to that. So he knows how to get on base. He's an older player, and he's competent. He's a plus defender with the glove, and he has positional versatility in the infield.
Yeah, I mean, I like John Birdie. It did hurt the Yankees in the middle of the season losing him, and he was out for about 3 or 4 months. So I mean, that one did hurt. Is he a guy you think that could make the roster?
I think he will, without a doubt.
Without a doubt, and along with Oswaldo,
Yep.
I would assume. Yeah. I mean, there's a few guys. I'm curious to see what the postseason roster is going to look like. The biggest question mark for me is going to be Dominguez. I know you're saying.
I think it's going to be Dominguez versus Grisham. I don't think Verdugo's even a conversation. I think he's on the roster without a doubt.
Oh, Verdugo is going to be on the roster. There's no doubt there. I do remember. Okay, Sean. Oh, Sean Browning is saying he's got to do final preparations for the Hurricane Helene. All right, man. Yeah, anybody that's in, again, just real quick, anybody that's in hurricane area, be safe. Be safe. Go do what you need to do. Don't worry about this live stream. Your life is more important than this live stream. So go do what you need to do. Please be safe. Keep us in the loop. Keep me in the loop. Let me know that you all are okay, please.
See, here in Virginia, they declared a state of emergency for us already.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, with regard, I mean, it's the whole Eastern Seaboard. So pretty much if you're on the East Coast, you got problems coming. For us here at my house, we've had the preparations done. All the stuff is stored, not out to be carried off by wind. I have a backup generator for my house, so if the grid loses power, I will still have power, and I can still talk to you.
Well, that's good. That's good. But again, safety, man. So just make sure you're good to go.
Yeah.
But I am gonna put out the link to the open panel. You all know the rules. Again, I'm gonna invite you all up one at a time, and let's try to stick to the topics we talked about, and we'll go from there. If there's other people waiting, I'll drop you down and bring the next person up. So you get to come up and talk to myself and Ken. So that's the link right there, folks. I put the link out there. So whoever wants to jump up, please don't be afraid and speak on it. So But yeah, going into going to tonight's game, I just I don't want the Yankees to get swept. I don't want them to get swept. I want them obviously to win this game, finally clinch the division. I know we've all that it's one game. It's one game. The other thing I'm happy about going into the series real quick is that I'm happy about the fact that the Yankees went into this series with a 6-game lead. You know, at least it's not close. Right now the lead is cut down to 4. I thought going into this Baltimore series it would have been a lot less. I thought it would have been like 2 or 3 games. I didn't expect 6, but having a 6-game lead going into the Baltimore series, the losses hurt, but at least the Yankees still have a 4-game lead over them.
We have the buffer, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I can't see us going on a 6-game losing skid to end the season. So
I don't see it either.
I think we're going to clinch the East one way or another. Maybe the boys are just overconfident.
Could be. I think in the series so far against Baltimore, I think they walked in with like you said, maybe overconfidence. I know they were pressing. The bats were pressing too hard, in my opinion. It seemed like they were just trying to rush things. So it's not something that I wanted to see, but it just seemed like it was just like they were just rushing, and there was a lot of first pitch, swing the bat, ground out, pop out. There's been a lot of that in this series. So
well, in the 4 series wins, straight wins, they were displaying a lot of patience in the box.
Mm-hmm.
They were forcing the starters out of the game because of high pitch counts. Against Baltimore, it's been swing first, swing fast, and it hasn't worked out well.
Yeah, you're right. So I got a few people waiting in the back, so I'll invite you all up one at a time. Let's see.
Oh, I'd like to see everybody up and hear what they have, because I'll tell you what, sitting in the StreamYard, the comments are being typed and they're so fast. I'm having a difficult time keeping up with what's being said in the chat.
No, I understand. No, I'm just gonna do one at a time. Just makes it easier for me and the stream. So, but yeah, I got a few folks waiting. But Jared, ready to go? All right, he gave me a thumbs up. So, what's up, Jared?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Jared.
What's going on, man?
Oh, not much. Just still waiting on that win.
Still waiting on that win, right?
Nice Yankee pennant over your head.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
So what are your let me get your thoughts, man, just on the stuff that on anything that Ken and I talked about, like wherever you want to begin.
First question for you, Dominguez, on or off the postseason roster, and why?
All right.
Well, right now his field has been atrocious in left field.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really watch the game because Orioles are local where I am. They got blacked out. But anyway, yikes! That was not a good sign for Dominguez there.
So is that a yes or a no for him being on the roster?
Well, it depends. If you do better at fielding, catching the fly balls, then he could be in the postseason. But right now, I don't think so.
Right now, you don't think so? Okay,
that's just what I think. Yeah,
that's fine.
Well, that's what we're asking. It's your opinion.
Yeah, it's your opinion, man. So
and it's important.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're one of the guys that is constantly in the streams here in Pinstripe Chronicles, there are 4 or 5 of them that we see in constantly. So we'd like to hear what you have to say.
All right.
How impactful do you think the loss of Nestor Cortez is going to be for the team in the postseason?
I think it's pretty big, man. I didn't expect him to go down like this. I think he would have pitched well against the Orioles last night if he was not hurt. But when Marcus Stroman came in, I kind of had a bad feeling.
You had a bad feeling about last night's game?
Yeah, with Stroman pitching, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, Stroman hasn't been great in his last 3 starts, so it's understandable why you're why you were concerned. He hasn't been great. But let me real quick, because I do have a few other folks waiting. I got quite a few folks waiting in the back, so which is great. I love it. But let me get your overall thoughts on the Baltimore series. Do you think the Yankees can finish with the best record in the American League? Are you still hopeful for that? And are they clinching tonight?
That's a tough one. They should have done it. They should have done it on Tuesday. They should have done it last night. But tonight, who the heck knows, man? I'm trying to stay positive as much as I could, but I don't know.
What's your overall feeling?
My overall feeling is that I just don't. The team just got to figure it out, man. I just don't like what the hell they're playing right now in the series.
Okay. Do you think they could still finish the record or finish with the best record in the American League? Is that still a possibility?
It's still a possibility. But I think you get swept. I think you get swept tonight. I'm gonna lose it, man.
Okay, so do you think they're gonna get swept, or what do you think, man? If you had to predict right now,
they've got Corbin Burns. We've got Garrett Cole.
There you go.
But I think that's gonna be a pitcher's duel.
Yeah.
Even though Corbin Burns hasn't been pitching that great, but it wouldn't shock me if the pitcher's great against the Yankees. Like every other pitcher does.
But he's not a left-hander.
This is true.
Oh, he's a righty?
He is a righty.
Yep. Corbin Burns is a right-handed pitcher.
Oh, okay. He's not a lefty.
Cool. All right, man. Well,
so yeah.
We'll see what happens tonight, man. Let's just hope for the best. I'm sure I'll see you at the pregame later, but I do appreciate you coming on. So I'm going to drop you down. Yep.
Jared, one last thing for you.
Yeah.
Keep the faith, brother. We've been in first place for most of the season.
Mm-hmm.
We seem to walk the tightrope, but we always seem to come through. So don't lose faith.
That's right.
I try not to.
Go Yankees.
Go Yankees.
All right, Jared. We'll see you in the chat there. See you later.
All right. See ya.
Yep. Yo, Uncle Tats, what is going on? Good to see you, Uncle Tats. Make sure you all subscribe to the Pinstripe Chronicles podcast. Does a really good job over there. They're on the road to 800 subscribers. I'm going to bring up Jonathan next. You ready to go, man? All right.
Hi.
What's up, Jonathan?
The game yesterday was exciting at the end, but didn't like the outcome, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I like the matchup today. I think Cole will pitch his best, the best he can, and we'll probably eke it out. It will be a low scoring pitcher's duel. That's my guess. But as far as the outfield and Dominguez, look, he might need a little bit more time in spring training. I'm not giving up on Dominguez, and I won't give up on Dominguez. But
No,
as
of
far
course
as
not.
the outfield, I feel like they need to try a more defensive first outfield rather than question marks.
So would you go? Then you would go. Would you go Verdugo over Dominguez in the postseason?
Yeah, in the postseason, yes.
Okay.
Dominguez has not shown me he can be a good defensive fielder yet. But like I said, he's very young. He has time to improve. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets some winter ball to improve his defense. But I think he still will be on the playoff roster as maybe a replacement late in the game for Verdugo. And maybe he'll be in there against lefty hitters to start the game. And my guess is left field will be a mix in the playoff. It won't be one guy holding the spot.
So I do want to bring this question up here. So, because Erica's asking, why do we keep saying it's Verdugo over Dominguez? Because that's been the big conversation, and the question should be Dominguez over Grish, which that should be the question, sure.
Yeah,
but
I brought that one up earlier.
I like Grisham. Grisham is also another guy. Look, in the playoffs, they should prioritize defense. Absolutely. So I want Dominguez to have playoff experience. At the same time, we need the best defensive behind the pitcher. So that might mean playing Cabrera and DHing Torres on some games.
They're not going to. I doubt they'll DH Torres.
I know they won't do that, but their defense is a big question mark, and it already has blown them a lot of games. Look, I wonder if, in regards to the defense, do you think if they had a solid defense throughout the season, could that prevented maybe some injuries to Cole and Cortez? Because they wouldn't have had so many. If you think about it, they wouldn't have pitched so many pitches if they had solid defense throughout the whole season.
I'm not going to relate that to their injury.
Cole was injured in spring training, and the errors don't have anything to do with that.
No.
And if you look at Cortez's history, this is the second most large amount of innings that he's pitched in his career.
Yes.
The other time was the season before last, and he got injured last season. So I think it's more that he stepped up and taken a bigger role, taking a lot more innings that he has in his career.
So what do you think they do with Cortez? Yes, he will be with them in the last year and maybe trade him in the mid-season next year, or stay with them?
The trade right now is out of the question.
Not right now. I'm talking about July.
Until he gets reviewed for his physicals, with the elbow injury, he may need Tommy John surgery. Yeah. And then it's a done deal.
If Tommy John surgery, he's out for the year, and he won't pitch the Yankees again.
It's a matter of his medicals and whatnot. But that's not really what we're looking at. We're looking at the playoffs and how it impacts that, and it hurts.
Is there any player in the minors who can help them? Do you see anybody? Because I don't know if they have any pitchers in the minors that can replace Cortez on the 40-man.
Well, let's see. We brought Beater up, who is one of our prospective workhorses. We've seen what Warren has to offer. I don't think he could be a contributor at the major league level. Cody Poteet came up yesterday. So the arms that I think that you want are already there.
Yeah.
It's the question of the left-handed specialist, which we don't have in the farm system.
And real quick on that note, speaking of arms, Yankees Twitter just put out a tweet saying that they placed Mark Leiter Jr. on the paternity list, and they have recalled Scott Efros from AAA. So I just wanted to share that real quick.
Well, that's good news. I'm interested in if Ifros can become the pitcher we think he is, he could be a valuable piece in the playoffs. I know he's been hurt most of the season, but maybe he's the guy to watch.
Well, I'll tell you what, the news about Jake Cousins is very encouraging too.
Yes.
I mean, he is going to be on the postseason roster. They're just giving him a break for a few days before they start his throwing routine again. No damage discovered on his MRI. So he has been a hallmark player for us out of the pen this season.
Yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. But let me ask you this, Jonathan: do you think the Yankees can win tonight's game with Garrett Cole on the mound, or do they finally clinch tonight? And can they still finish the season with the best record in the American League?
I think they can if they play solid defense. The defense is what concerns me more than anything else at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So watch the defense, watch the infield defense especially. If they play solid defense, I think they have a chance at winning the game. And of course, getting the clutch hits. Those will be the two biggest questions in the game tonight.
No doubt. Okay. All right, Jonathan. Well, I got a few other folks waiting.
Yes, I have to get going too. I have something in a half an hour.
Nah, you're good, man. But
Thank you.
I do appreciate you coming up, man, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for your input, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, see you later, man. All right. You know what? I'm gonna invite two people up because one of them, I mean, she's automatically invited up, and that's Erica. I'm gonna get you going here, and I'm gonna bring up Mr. Barros. So I'm gonna bring both of you up. And Max, what's up, Max? I see you in the chat there, but let me get Erica up. What up, Erica? How's it
What's
going?
up?
What's
I'm
up?
good,
What's
man.
up?
I'm working right now.
Yep. And yeah, I probably you're working. And Mr. Barros, the infamous.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
What is
Hello,
going on?
Erica. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to make some comments to mess with me or something.
No. I bothered you last night with the roast beef. That was enough.
Yeah. But I want to get both of your thoughts just on everything that we talked about, that Ken and I talked about. So Erica, I know, and I've been seeing your comments in the chat. So wherever you want to start the series, do the Yankees clinch tonight? You know, what are we feeling? Do they still finish the AL with the best record?
And remember, the infamous question of Dominguez, on or off the postseason roster.
I think I already answered that in the chat.
I didn't see it.
I said that
Go ahead.
ultimately you're gonna want defense, a defensive sound outfield. So, but I don't think he's gonna get left off of the roster because I don't think that they're going to prioritize Grisham over Dominguez when Grisham has barely played. Like he played in garbage time for the first time the other night. So at that point, how are you gonna have a guy in Grisham be on the playoff roster when you're not even playing him right now? So if anything, he's cold as all hell when they're giving the kid regular reps. So in the Yankees mentality and just the way that things are going, I think Dominguez will be on the postseason roster. I don't think he'll get much playing time. But yeah, because even if you chose Grisham over Dominguez, you're using Grisham as a defensive replacement for who? Barring injury, that's really what it is because your outfield is Soto, is Judge in center, and is Verdugo in left. So what defensive replacement would he come in for? That would be silly, you know.
Well, you tend to see that Grisham is the one that's given Judge a breather, and it's when we're playing on AstroTurf surfaces, particularly. It's a playoff matchup. We go to Houston, that's an AstroTurf. Or Houston, when we play, if we were to play in Houston, that's AstroTurf.
So you think they're going to take Stanton out of the lineup in some scenarios?
Yes,
I
I
don't
do.
think so. You think they're going to take Stanton out of the lineup? Why do I hear myself?
I don't know why you hear yourself.
No.
I don't know if you have
That was
something
weird.
on.
I think you can't go into the playoffs and play matchups the same way you do in the regular season, in my opinion. I think that these guys in a when it comes to playoff games, you need to run the same lineup out there every game.
I will tell you, playoff baseball is completely different. First of all, your starters atypically in the playoffs only go between
mind
4
me.
and 5
Keep going.
innings,
Mhm.
and you were heavily dependent on the bullpen. So that's the one piece that you absolutely have to get right is the bullpen.
Okay. So what point are you making right now? I'm sorry, I'm not like being rude. I'm like, what are we talking? We were just talking about Dominguez
Well, you were
and the
talking
lineup.
about the lineup being consistent.
Yeah.
Usually pitchers are very consistent, but in the postseason, that's not the same. That's not the same truism.
So you think they play matchups then in the postseason?
I do.
I don't see how they can take a guy that has shown success in the playoffs year over year in Stanton and take him out of the lineup. I just can't see that happening just because they're trying to get Judge off of his feet in a playoff game, which would potentially be the ALCS.
Right.
I can't see it. I mean, if they do that, then I don't know. To me, it's crazy.
Well, if you look at the composite of the season, it's been crazy.
Oh yeah, but they justify all these moves so that these guys are healthy in the playoffs. That's really what it is. We do all of this so that they're healthy in the playoffs. It doesn't like they're not going to do. I don't think they'll do that in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like it won't roll over into the playoffs. But that's just me. Like this is like my opinion. You know what I mean? That's what
That's what you're being asked for your opinion.
Yeah. So that's why I'm arguing that point is I really don't see that. I think the reason why you see it in the regular season, you don't see the Iron Horses anymore outside of maybe Juan Soto because he's so young still, or Anthony Volpe. But do you get these guys rests now so that they're ready for October?
No doubt. Mr. Barros, let's get your thoughts, man. What do you got, man?
I got so many. My brain right now is frying. First
Maybe
of
time
all,
to take a chicken parm sandwich break.
yeah, actually, that's what I'm making tonight. Believe it or not. One of my top concerns is I think the Yankees went into these first two games way overconfident, knowing they needed one game to clinch. And I think Baltimore came in with a sense of urgency and just like slapped them around. Now, I think the offense honestly needs to take their time at the plate. You guys know how many times I keep commenting on the first pitch. That drives me up the wall. Jazz, especially Verdugo, there's Stanton striking out. I just want to see take a little bit more time, be consistent, and play to win. I think tonight with Cole pitching, because the first game we should have clinched that first game against their pitcher, and we didn't. We got bombed. Yesterday, we got bombed. We almost came back, but we lost. And I think tonight, with Cole on the mound, it seems when they're up against the toughest part or toughest pitcher is when they play their best. So I'm thinking tonight's going to be the night. As far as the best record, we're one game up on the tiebreaker because they tied us now with the same record. So that means we got to win tonight, and then we got to take 2 from the Pirates to get the best record. I don't even care about the best record, honestly. I think the Yankees play better on the road. I mean, we all see that. So right now, I just want to win the one game, but there's a couple of other things I wanted to mention, and maybe you guys see it. Soto, I love Soto. He's a great ball player. But I know he lollygags in the outfield. I mean, there's a couple of balls like last night. That ball that he could have caught that ball. But do you guys see sometimes when he runs like he doesn't give it his all? I mean, he really could have caught that ball last night.
Mr. Barrows, I don't think that he's dogging it. This is his best outfield performance in his career. He's not historically been a very good outfielder, and I'm surprised that he's had as few errors as he has. And he's actually demonstrated a better arm than I thought he had.
No, he's got a great arm. I'm not saying he's dogging it on purpose. I just, us being so used to Judge being in right field, I would rather see Judge in right, but it is what it is. We like you said, we give our opinions. We're not the Yankees. We're not going to make the Yankees change it for us. But going back to the Dominguez thing, Verdugo's going to probably be in the lineup because of his defense. It's a shame that I wish he would start hitting. Dominguez is a center fielder naturally. So it's really between Dominguez and Grisham if you want to DH Judge, which I think that's what they should do tonight is DH Judge and maybe throw Grisham in center field. But then, like Erica was saying, Grisham's probably going to be cold as ice. But who knows? Maybe he'll come through and he'll do good tonight for us. I just want to get this one win and get the division and just lock that up. And then we'll worry about the best record.
No doubt.
Why not sit Jazz and put Oswaldo in the game and hit him in the 4-hole?
Absolutely. I definitely would sit Jazz without a doubt. Because I think Cabrera, even though he's not hitting 350 or 330, whatever, that kid, to me, he always looks like he gives 100%, and I love him at third base. He kind of reminds me of Borchella.
Right.
Somebody else.
I love Gio.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. Look, I think.
Did you answer my door?
Oh, let me mute that. So I know that. I think Dominguez. I know Ken saying he doesn't think he's going to be on the roster. I think he will be. I think he will be on the. I think he will be on the roster in one way, shape, or form. But I think he might be sharing a DH role with Giancarlo Stanton. I mean, that's just my prediction. I could very well be wrong here. But right now, I mean, based on his outfield or his outfield play, his defense in the outfield, I'm a little worried about that. I don't trust him in the outfield right now. I trust Verdugo in left field right now over.
So do I. I feel the same way. But Verdugo's bat is just so cold.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to pick up Verdugo? That's the thing. Stanton's been striking out like crazy. I mean, what did he do last night? He walked.
And like I was saying, so because I know a lot of folks are don't like Verdugo, and I get that. I understand. I know his bat hasn't been great, but you look at the last, but you look at the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. I mean, those guys are struggling too. So it's not just Verdugo. There's other guys. There's other guys in this lineup that are struggling as well. So the offense needs to pick it up. It can't just be Soto and Judge. The offense needs to pick it up. The other bats need to pick it up. So we'll see what they we'll see what they do. I mean, Giancarlo's batting average last 15 games has been 170 in the last 15 games. So
that's hard.
Great. Austin Wells, I'll say it again, his batting average in the last 15 games, 132. Jazz Chisholm, 148. I mean, I know a lot of people want to talk about Verdugo's bat, and Verdugo's bat has not been great, but these guys that I just mentioned, their bats have not been great either. But those the bats need to improve, and they need to improve big time. But before I drop you down, Mr. Barrows, because I got a couple of other folks waiting. Sure. What are your predictions for tonight? Do you think the Yankees can avoid the sweep? Do they clinch tonight? Do they clinch the division? And then do you think the Yankees can still finish with the best record in the American League? They have a half a game over the Cleveland Guardians right now. And I believe the Guardians are off today, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they have a series coming up against Houston. So that's how they're going to close out their season. But let me get your thoughts on that, and then we'll go from there.
I think it's one game we have on top of them as the tiebreaker, because right now they got the same winning record as us. But my prediction for the game tonight is I think the Yankees are going to win it. I'm going to say a score of like 5-3 or 4-3, something like. It's going to be close, but I think we're going to pull it out tonight, and we're going to take the division tonight. Like I said, I think when the Yankees are in a tough spot, especially with Burns is pitching, right? Corbin Burns
versus Garrett Cole.
Right. I think the Yankees take the division tonight. As far as the best record, if we could win tonight and take 2 out of 3 from Pittsburgh, that's fine. We'll lock up the best record. But I'm really not concerned about the best record because I think we play better on the road. But I honestly think it's going to be tonight.
All right.
It's a combination of 3 wins and losses. So if Houston takes 2 out of 3 from the Guardians, that's good for us too, as far as taking the overall
absolutely.
record.
Yep, you're absolutely right. I forgot to bring that up, but yeah, that's true too. So they could actually lose and we lose, but it doesn't matter. But if they lose and we win, that's 2 games there.
That's 2 games right off the bat. Yeah.
Right. Yep, absolutely. But guys, thanks for having me on, and I'll be watching the pregame later.
All right, yeah, I'll be on live for the pregame, and just so everybody knows real quick, in case you all didn't know, I'm not going live tonight for the play-by-play. So, but I plan on doing 1 or 2 more play-by-plays before the season ends. So be on the lookout for that. So stay tuned. Mr. Barrows, always a pleasure having you on, man. So
thank you, man.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Chicken farm.
Yeah, cool. Let's go Yankees, baby.
Let's go.
Get some special Volpe power in there.
Let's go.
Yep.
All right. All right. I got a couple of other people waiting. I appreciate you guys being so patient. I know there was a couple of other people waiting in the back. I know y'all left, and I do apologize. I'll probably get like 2 or 3 people waiting in the back, but today there was a whole bunch of people that wanted to come up. So it sounds like everybody wanted to vent. I do have Joe in the back. I see you in the back. If you're ready to go, give me a thumbs up there, Joe. Don't see a thumbs up, but I think you're ready to go. So, yeah. All right. I can't hear you in backstage, but Joe, how's it going?
Hey, good. How are you doing?
I can't complain. I'm doing good.
Ken, how are you?
Another ducky day in paradise. Hurricane's
Well,
on its way.
The weather's not great in New York, so tonight we're gonna have patience with the weather. That's to let you know. 2 quick points before anything, guys. Yeah. I know I've said this in the chat a couple of times. You never really commented on it.
Okay.
But if you look at these all these crazy stats, trust me when I tell you it's crazy, but it's true. Every time the first batter at Yankee Stadium hits the ball to shortstop, the Yankees lose the game. And this has been going on since 1973. It's amazing. And I'm telling you the truth. I never bet, but the minute there's a ground ball to Volpe or shortstop, I have won 98% of the bets. I know it's crazy. That's number 1.
That's a big number.
When they hit a ground ball to short, so just at home, the Yankees are going to lose that game. And I want to tell more people, I want to break this jinx. I can't take it. Also, on the side, is there a way that I can speak with you? Because I have a very, very good guest for you. but
Okay.
I need to talk to you privately on it. So is there a way, however you want to do it, believe me, you're going to like the guest.
I appreciate that, Joe. Let me put my email in the private chat.
Okay.
You should be able to see that. I'll put my email in there, Joe, and then you can email me.
Okay. And then I will give you my number from there and you can call me.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now what I wanted to ask you guys, well, first of all, I really think Dominguez has to play. I am so sick and tired of watching Verdugo hit the first pitch or ground ball to second or a pop up. I can't take it anymore. We're gonna have to live with it. We lived with Reggie Jackson. We lived with a lot of these guys. And Juan Soto reminds me of Reggie Jackson in a lot of ways. What do you think?
I think that Soto is a far better hitter than Reggie Jackson
Well, yeah.
was. Not the power numbers, mind you, but the straight contact and clutchness. And when Reggie hit balls, they left the planet, and he did them in droves. There were bunches of them.
You're right. You're right. I mean, listen, Ken, I've been through the wars. I've been a Yankee fan since I think I said mommy and daddy, and believe me, that's going back to around 1962. And it's so funny. We have a history. Everybody born in my family, the Yankees win the World Series that year. So it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. But they're just frustrating sometimes, and it. I don't know. I like to see Birdie play a little bit more. I wanted to drive Torres to the airport. I have no problem with that. Because and I don't want to see him again. Now I think we'll just get him a car because he's done a little bit better. But I do not want to see him on the team next year. Absolutely not. What do you think?
Well, I think that Torres over the last 6 weeks has possibly earned himself a qualifying offer. Uh,
He's not going to
according
take.
according to the sports tracks, his contract they're thinking for free agency if he signs with the team is going to be a 3-year, $21 million deal. If he gets offered a QO, that's $21 million for one season. So I think if the Yankees offer him a qualifying offer, he'll accept it.
Yeah, but if he's going to get that amount of money, you might as well let him walk and then try to work something out with him. I mean, I would
Oh,
do that. I
don't
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 believe.
don't disagree with you at all. However, the Yankees are all about the draft picks because we always play well and draft so low in the draft. Okay,
Don't
you're
like.
back.
Right, but what I don't like is the fact that they, I know that it's $300 million payroll, but how, he gives us the excuse that, well, he's got a lot of people to tend to in the boardroom. I mean, come on already. You're the New York Yankees. Enough's enough, guys. You don't talk about boardrooms. Don't talk. If you want to get a player, I mean, they can do it, and we all know it. But when he turns around, just say you don't want to do the over 300 million. But when you start putting in the boardroom, you have people to answer to. Why, your father had nobody to answer to? Come on, give me a break. And to be honest with you, I've been around the team for a very long time. I've done tours at Yankee Stadium. I've worked for the Yankees. So believe me, I know the ins and outs. And trust me when I tell you. And Steinbrenner was like my greatest feat. He was my number one interview when I was doing some Yankee talk on radio. I had my own show here in New York,
I
and
recall.
yeah, let me tell you, it was amazing. He was so great to me, and he knew I was a big Yankee fan, and he used to cheer with me. I was in the press box, and believe me, when it was a lot of fun. But when I see shows like you guys, first of all, let me tell you, and that's not because I'm talking to you guys now. You guys got the best show going. There is
Thank
no
you.
no
Appreciate
question
it.
in my mind. That's why I want to help you guys. I want to help you in any which way I can. Your product is fantastic. You let the people talk. You do the play by play. I think it's just really amazing that whatever you do outside of this, you spend some time with the people, with us, and the least we can do is help you.
Well,
So
Joe,
I just
it's
wanted to throw that out.
it's the
Joe,
guys like
greatly
you
appreciate that. Yeah.
and the ones that are in the chat that make the channel.
Yeah. Now, real
Right.
quick,
And
Joe, as
yeah,
you know, for me, man, it's just, my goal with this whole channel. I mean, I know it's mostly a Yankees channel. We talk mostly Yankees, but I always say other fans are welcome if they support other teams. I know I got a couple of Mets fans. I know I got a couple of Orioles folks in the chat too, as
There's even
subscribers. And
Astros guys that have
we got it.
subscribed
We
too.
got it. Yeah, I've had some Astros guys, and every fan is welcome. You're welcome to come in. We could talk about your team too. I'm open to it. But as far as what you just said, man, I do appreciate the kind words. I try to make this like an open forum, open panel for everybody to vent their frustrations. No, we're not going to always agree, right? It's not.
no,
It's not going to be. It's my opinion and my opinion only. Everybody's opinions are welcome. If you don't agree with me, by all means, let me know. You're not going to offend me one bit. You're not going to offend me at all. And I'm probably not. And there's probably going to be things where I'm not going to agree with other folks, and that's okay. That's what makes us fans, and all of us fans, we're all going to have opinions on this. And I know Ken and I sometimes, there's a few things that him and I will not agree on, right? Such as
Austin Wells
Oh,
versus Trevino is certainly one of them.
yeah, Wells and Trevino, Dominguez making the postseason roster. So we have, we're having some disagreement. We have some disagreements on that, but at the end of the day, Ken and I are still fans of this team. So,
oh
no,
yeah, the same with me. I'm very critical, but I'm going
yeah,
to leave you on like two quick notes. Like I said,
sure,
keep in mind what I told you about the ground ball to shortstop.
yeah,
Because I'm
yeah.
telling you, I can't. I actually closed the TV last night. I went to watch AEW. I couldn't take it. I knew they were going to lose. I knew they were going to lose. It's disgusting. And like I said, if you can leave me that link, I really appreciate it. And I want to talk to you about a few things that I think will enhance your show.
Absolutely. I would greatly appreciate that, Joe. And thank you for the kind words. Does really mean a lot to me. It
Well,
really
we're here
does.
for you, and and I'm getting more. There are a lot of people that watch you that don't really like to write, but believe me, they're watching.
Good to know. Thank you so much again for the kind words. And I check the private chat. Make sure you get the email.
Now, when you
Before
say the private chat, I want to make sure it's just the regular chat that I look at.
Now in StreamYard, it's in the right hand corner. You'll see comments and
Oh,
private
okay.
chat.
Okay,
If
gotcha.
you hit the private chat tab, that's just between us that are on the screen.
Okay, so I'm gonna just basically leave you like private, like a number, and when you get a chance, please give me a call.
yeah, drop your phone number there, and yeah, I will grab that phone number, and most definitely, Joe, I'll give you a call here. Because after the show, I do have to get going because there's a few things I need to take care of. But
Okay.
I will most definitely,
When
I
you
will
get a
most definitely
chance,
give you
if
a
you
call.
want to do it, if you can today would be great, maybe before or after the game. Don't worry, I'm a night owl and I just retired from being a doorman concierge in New York City. So believe
Yes,
me,
sir.
I'm up. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations on retirement. Yeah, you've
Thank you. You guys enjoy and keep it up. And we're gonna make the show really, really good for you. And like I said, next year, I'm not kidding. We got to get together here in New York City.
That's a goal. I would love to make that happen. We just need to get it all figured out. I know I'm going to have some folks come out here to Colorado because the Yankees are coming out here. So I
Yes.
know I got some subscribers that are like, "Hey, we're coming out. We're setting it up." So
I don't know that the NFE is going to make it though, because there are too many people that have dibs on his couch, and it looks like he's going to be trying to fight people out.
Well,
And
you
setting
guys are
booby
more than
traps like Home
invited.
Alone.
You guys are more than invited to come to Staten Island. It's absolutely no problem.
all right,
I'll
man.
make you. I'll make you the greatest Italian dinner you ever had.
Hey, there you go, man.
Take care,
All right.
guys, and
Yes,
enjoy.
sir.
Looking forward to speaking with you.
Yes, sir, Joe. I'll call you later this afternoon, and yeah, drop your number in the chat, in that private chat.
Ken, the same goes for you. You're more than welcome.
All right, Joe.
You
Appreciate it.
take care, guys.
All right.
You
See you later, Joe. Thanks for coming on.
You got it.
All righty. Thank you for coming on, Joe. And we have Pasty waiting in the back. Pasty, appreciate you waiting. You ready to go, man? He is ready to go. So
What's up, boys?
man? Go ahead and
Hey, brother, how's it going?
go ahead and close us out, man. We got a few more minutes. I know you've been patiently waiting. I do apologize for the wait. There's just been a lot of people.
No,
this
you're
morning,
good.
So.
Joe, what a guy.
What a guy.
Cool guy, huh?
Yeah. Cool guy. But let me get your thoughts, man. I want to get your thoughts on the series, overall on this team. Dominguez, Verdugo, Grisham. Let's hear it, man. Let it all out. Let it all out.
I actually made my own talking points to kind of make this easier for everybody.
Please.
Continue.
So,
serve it up, brother.
Yeah. So the first one is everyone's going to call Boone a moron for playing Stroman. I don't agree. He's a veteran. You got to step up to the plate in that moment. And he didn't step up to the plate. If it would have happened to Poteet, everyone would have called Boone a moron anyways. So you really don't win in that situation, to be honest with you. I mean, I think Stroman.
You would have started Stroman over Poteet 100%.
He's a veteran. He has the experience in that tight situation.
Fair enough.
Poteet doesn't.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Last time he pitched was in June.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're right.
I mean, Stroman pitched exactly how he pitches. He got ground balls. Ground balls didn't go to the right people. He's a ground ball pitcher. The baseball gods were not on our side. I mean, it's that simple. Let's go to Dominguez. Defense, question mark, big question mark. Rookie doesn't have the reps in the outfield. It's, I don't want to say like, it's kind of like a ha-ha moment, but it kind of is because everybody was screaming for him to come up. And now looking at the comments, everyone's kind of pulling back on that. He has good offense. We're seeing him hit the ball very hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he is going to come around with that. As far as him being on the postseason roster, I do think he will be on the postseason roster. I do think we're going to have Verdugo mostly in left field. We got Wells. He's got to heat up. Wells he's clogging up the 4-hole. We had that locked down for a very long time. Now it's pretty upsetting that we have a question mark there again. And then Ken brought up a good point. I mean, putting Cabby over there just to kind of try it out. I've said this for a very long time. Cabby, he's a gamer. That dude, he plays hard. And he's always got his chin up, and he's ready to do whatever it takes to win. So I think
I think the Yankees have done him a disservice.
Yes.
By the way that they've played him.
Well, just like Peraza.
Exactly. Those are my two calling card players that I've been waving the banner for all season.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think Peraza would be a really good addition. I mean, I think he could potentially play third base, but I mean, I think it's kind of too late in the game to start trying things out. I mean, we should have tried this like a while ago. Unfortunately, it was working a while ago, so it wasn't really a problem. The defense, that sloppy defense at times, I mean, that could definitely cost us close games in the playoffs. I really hope with, we're gonna win. We're gonna win the AL East. I'm not worried about that. So with our off time, I mean, we got to be running simulations, ground balls, catching balls in the outfield. We got to do everything that we can prepare because postseason games aren't typically very high scoring games. They're really close. So that missed, pop up or whatever. I mean, that could be the change of the game. So,
I mean, you look at it, you give great teams extra at bats. It always comes to bite you in the butt.
Yeah.
Especially the Orioles.
Yeah, no doubt.
100%.
Do you
They were
think-
missing so many. Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it. Finish your point.
Yeah. So, I mean, they were just missing so many key components. So I guess we were just like, oh, the Orioles are in a slump. But the key players that they got back, as you can see, definitely made or break, the way their roster is constructed.
Yeah, no doubt. Do you think okay, you said that Dominguez will make the postseason roster.
For sure.
Do you think the Yankees can win today, avoid the sweep, finally clinch the division? And do you think they will finish with the best record in the American League?
We definitely win today. I don't know if anyone saw the broadcast yesterday. I've mentioned it a couple times. The Yes Network panned over to Cole, and he's out for blood.
I saw it. I saw your comment. I was thinking.
Yeah, he is out for blood.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if Boone probably would have let him, he probably would have went in there and pitched. And if you remember in 2022, when the game got kind of crazy, Cole was in the bullpen ready to pitch. I think it was in a closing position actually. But yeah, I got Cole 7 strikeouts, gives up 2 runs. One's going to be a home run by Santander early. And then from Cole to Hamilton to Weaver to close it. It's going to be a 3-2 game.
3-2 game. All right, so I'm getting some early predictions from Pasty here. All right,
it's going to be very close.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Cole's a warrior.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, those comments that they made about him a couple of weeks ago, that got on that still got on my nerves. I'm not trying to go back to the past, but calling him a coward and weak, it's like, you know what? Shame on you guys for calling him that, because he's been nothing but solid as far as a pitcher and as far as a Yankee, as far as him being a Yankee goes. And we'll see, man. I mean, look, I'm curious to see what this postseason roster is going to look like. I'm with you, Pacey. I think Dominguez is going to make it, but I'm putting Verdugo in first because defense is important, and that defense in the outfield. I know Verdugo has not been hitting. I'm not arguing that. I know he has not been hitting, but some of the other guys in the lineup that I mentioned, they haven't been hitting either. So the bats, they all need to pick up. I mean, right now it's been Glaber, it's been Soto, it's been Judge. These are the 3 that have been hitting. Rizzo's showing some bright spots. He showed a couple of bright spots. Volpe was looking good last week. We'll see how he, if he, I know he's kind of back into a little bit of a slump again, but he's been hitting again. I want this guy getting hits. Volpe, I've been a little bit critical of him last week. I'm not bashing him. I don't bash the players. I'm just saying these guys need to turn it around. Matt, I agree, Matthew. Defense and pitching does win championships, and the Yankees have the pitching. They got the pitching, the defense. The only part of the defense, sometimes it's that infield. The infield is still very a little shaky for me, just a little shaky. So hopefully they can turn it around.
Rizzo is anchored first base. He saved a crap load of errors over last week. His glove is solid. Volpe anchors the left side of the infield. Jazz, he's had some issues because of non-familiarity with playing the position and how to attack it. And that's one thing that I think Oswaldo has down. And I know damn well that John Birdie does. Mm-hmm. So if you felt the need for defensive substitutions or upgrades, you got your 2 guys that can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say this. Rizzo makes Volpe at times. Now, granted, I love Volpe, Gold Glover, look a lot better throwing wise than he actually is. Rizzo's one of the best scoop catchers in the game. He really is. Yeah. Even at his age.
Yeah.
Well,
truly.
Do you want him back on the roster next year?
I love Rizzo, but I think he's teetering towards DJ level, unfortunately. Love DJ as well. Mm-hmm. He's done a lot for this team. I think it would be really cool for him to go back to the Cubs and retire there. just like Carpenter.
For sure.
Love Carpenter, best Yankee of all time. Great run.
Great
Yeah, I
run
think-
for his short time here.
I think Rizzo. I think Rizzo. I think Rizzo. I think his time as a Yankee after the season is done.
Yeah.
It pains me to say that, but sometimes I feel you just got to move on and figure something else out. I don't know what the Yankees are going to do. We'll see in the offseason, but that's a conversation in the offseason. We'll talk about that. But let me get your final thoughts, Pasty, because I am going to close it out.
Yeah.
But go ahead, man.
So you were mentioning, like, is this a must win? No, it's not necessarily a must win.
Okay.
But in my opinion, it's a big ego win. It's
Okay.
a big ego win that we desperately need. Because we're not, versus the Orioles, what are we, 4-8 this year or something?
4-8, yeah.
Good. So I think this is a really good, and it was mentioned in the presser yesterday with Judge, is what happened in the ninth going to carry over to this game, and I 100% think it is. I think we're going to come out hitting. Hopefully we start, playing a little small ball, bunting. I need to see some stolen bases. I don't think we saw any stolen bases last night. The Orioles are still young. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to overthrow the ball and stuff. So we got to let them help us win. We can't beat ourselves. Last night we beat ourselves.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt.
Oh.
But Pasty, dude, love having you on, man. You always bring some
Appreciate
good takes.
it, guys.
So I do appreciate it. I always see you in the comments. Believe me, folks, I do see the comments. I just can't, sometimes they go by so fast. I can't imagine how other people that have like 20,000 subscribers, I don't know how they do it, but the comments come in so fast. So believe me when I say this, I do see the comments. I don't think I'm ignoring it. I do see them, but
One last thing, weather-wise, what are we looking like weather-wise? Because if it is rained out, how is that going to work?
I would imagine if it's rained out, they probably would have to make that game up, and I would assume Monday, because they have a 3-game set coming up against Pirates. So I would assume it would be Monday that they would have to make that game up, which it would suck, but yeah, it's showing rain.
It's not a rain out.
Yeah, I don't know how much. Yeah, well, I'm looking right now at the
okay.
weather.
Well, Erica said it's not, so
okay. She lives around that area.
She has spoken.
Yep. Yeah, and Erica wants to really debate you on some of your talking points, so maybe I'll invite you to.
Oh, does she?
Y'all could duel it out. So yeah, but
anyway, I love a good debate.
we'll get that going. Yeah, I'll just let you two duke it out, and then I'll just be on the side, just watching and listening to the both of you. But hopefully we can make that happen. But Pasty, again, my guy, thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, appreciate
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on, man. Always love having you.
Great takes, brother. Appreciate it.
See you later, bro. Yep. All right. Pasty, thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who has come on and made their comments. Thank you for coming on the open panel. Thank you for being in the chat and giving your support to this channel. Appreciate all of you. Ken, thanks for joining me this morning.
Yes, sir.
Appreciated. But I am going to close it out here, folks. Thank you all again for tuning in. Make sure you all hit that like button if you haven't yet. Hit that like button on your way out. Hit that subscribe button. Share this channel out with everyone you know. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's continue growing this channel out. And Ken, I think, wanted to say something real quick.
Looking at the schedule, Monday is actually is a whole day. So any rainouts, like you've got the Braves and the and the Mets. They lost a game yesterday because of hurricane preps, and they're probably going to lose a game today.
Yes.
And those are vital games in the National League wild card race. So Monday would be the playoff day, or the day for those games to be completed, because the postseason starts on Tuesday.
Yeah, so we'll see how it all We'll see how that all plays out. But with that being said, folks, we're going to close it out here. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you all later for the pregame. All right. And we're out. Let's go, Yankees.